What is GSC Game World doing with Stalker 2 right now? Because patch 1.3 just released. Just like all the other patches, it's been massive, with over 1,200 changes, fixes, and improvements. I'm not going to bore you with reading through the patch notes because, as you could assume, we would be here all day long when it comes to the thousands of fixes that were made with Stalker just of recently. So I jumped in and played a little bit of the 1.3 patch and felt like Stalker 2. Like, it didn't really feel like it drastically changed anything. It's not like oh, this is the patch that changes everything where you have to play Stalker 2 now. It's a patch that's another gradual improvement that we've been seeing GSC Game World do. And don't get me wrong, greatly appreciated. But this is always the big question with every big patch update. It's like, is the game fixed? Is it worth playing now? And I would say the only difference that really make it for people who are continually still playing Stalker 2 like I am right now. In my time of playing the new update, I did come across a few bugs of like items just kind of floating in mid-air randomly. Like they don't even deserve to be in these locations. I don't know why they have these objects just like in the space in the world for whatever reason. You can interact with them too, which makes it even funnier. This 1.3 update made a big change when it comes to enemy audio awareness, where they can actually hear your footsteps if you're not properly stalking around, right? Being stealthy in the game. I had this one moment where I was trying to get out of the chemical plant and a guard actually heard me.
Locating target. Hear the noise. I'll check it out.
But then there also was this moment where I was trying to sneak out of the chemical plant. Right at the end, I came across the line of guards and, well, I'll let you see what happened. But you can see guards spawning inside of guards after I take them out. It's so weird and awkward. And of course, floating items in the world as well. So there's still quite a good amount of work that needs to be done to kind of polish things up. But again, this is kind of like these little tiny bugs which don't really like drastically change the gameplay experience, right? It doesn't make you not want to play the game, but it's just one of those like immersion breaking things which Stalker relies on so much when it comes to immersion. I also had the situation in a side quest where I was being attacked by 4 different bloodsuckers, but I found as long as I stood behind this turned over table, they actually wouldn't go around to attack me. It was like this table was just like home base safe mode when it came to playing the game. So there's definitely still room for improvement when it comes to the AI behavior as well when it comes to Stalker 2. There's also this really cool moment when I was playing where I had to get out because I didn't side with Scar, and I noticed an enemy guard saw my presence because I had the flashlight on and everything. So then I went to go hide. Noticed them coming towards the doorway, so I decided to go, okay, let's pull out the knife. Hopefully you guys can see this and be able to just kind of sneak up on this bad guy. And yeah, totally fine. Like, stealth actually properly works in this game. You're not getting instantly recognized and beamed across the map like you were before. Also, with this recent patch, we have new death screens, which honestly is a nice little touch. Of course, it doesn't really affect the gameplay a whole lot, but it's just nice because, especially in a game like Stalker 2, let's be real, you're going to die a lot, right? And so you're going to want to be able to just like see some form of a variation and some differences there where you don't see that same bloodsucker every single time, which actually might make it even more frustrating when you do. You're like, damn you, why'd you get me again? But again, like the artwork in this game is just incredible. The visuals are so cool that like, this is just exactly what I love to see. But if you're an undecided gamer, this patch won't really do a whole lot for you. But there's a lot coming down the line that I think GSC just hinted at that really makes me curious about what the future of Stalker 2 is going to look like. But GSC Game World just released this trailer titled Just the Beginning Trailer, which is really interesting to release basically a cinematic campaign trailer of like, hey, come out and play the game now 4 months after the release of the game. It's really interesting why they released this right now. Now, it was definitely timed along with the Steam sale that recently happened. And if you're curious, the recent reviews over on Steam have it labeled as mixed at 68%. But you can see with the recent patch that just went live, it actually raised a lot of the positivity when it comes to Stalker 2 and the reception of the game. Where right before the patch, we were seeing days on Steam reviews of being right around even when it comes to positive and negative. Of course, leaning more towards the positive side of things, but some days being right about 50-60%. Not that great. Not exactly what you're looking for when it comes to your game release. Because with patches and updates, you assume those reviews to go up or be more positive, but it seemed like a lot of core issues fans are having with Stalker 2 are still lingering around. But just looking at the reviews here on YouTube for this trailer, very overwhelmingly positive, right? So people are still having a lot of fun with Stalker 2, but when you go through the comments, you kind of start seeing a lot of the complaints a lot of people are having. Top comment being, could we get some night vision in the game? It's quite hard to see enemies in the middle of night at mid-range. But this next comment I think really captures everything people have been asking for when it comes to Stalker 2 as of recent, saying bring back all the little details we love from Stalker 1, physics, bullets, monster AI, NPCs, corpse burning disposal via corpse eating monsters, etc. But really my big question is, like, why release this trailer now? Why this one at this time when it comes to just being like a just like a standard campaign trailer when it comes to just making people excited about wanting to play the game? And of course, he only got 77,000 views on it, so you didn't exactly like pop off when it comes to like millions of views you expect like a game trailer to get. And what I believe this post to be is more of a heads up, like, hey guys, there is a lot more coming when it comes to Stalker 2. Now we do know that according to GSC Game World's website, a multiplayer mode is in development and will be released sometime later after launch, completely free of charge. But when could we really expect that update to happen? Well, on GSC's website, looking at Stalker 2, you can see the standard editions, deluxe edition, and ultimate edition. We'll just look at the ultimate because it has all the extra little goodies in there. It does mention here that you do get some suits and 7 unique weapons that are transferable to multiplayer, but also a season pass of 2 story expansions and future DLCs. Which, yeah, we knew about that, but when is that actually going to happen? Well, in that case, I think you just have to look at the industry standard when it comes to single player type experiences. A lot of times these come about a year after launch. Take example, Starfield Shattered Space. Now, despite how you feel about it, they had a proper cadence of when they were going to release content on it, because this released back 1 year after the launch, effectively, of Starfield back in September of 2024. But we also could see a similar release cadence as, say, Phantom Liberty, right, from Cyberpunk. Now, I would say the launch of Cyberpunk was a bit more of a disaster compared to what Stalker 2's was, but obviously Stalker 2 had its own issues, significant issues, I would say. It got to the point where I actually had to uninstall the game just because I couldn't handle playing the game at first. Obviously, they fixed it up, but this was launched back in 2023, and we saw such a huge revival when it comes to Cyberpunk after this, where now people widely hold it as one of the greatest RPG games of all time. But if you paired a multiplayer update along with some type of expansion, well then you're going to see a lot of interest come back to Stalker 2, especially after all the thousands and tens of thousands of bug fixes. And if you can ride that hype, then this next story I just found, I can't believe it just kind of slipped through the cracks right here when it comes to Stalker 2 stuff, but I've been paying attention to it, but just didn't hear about it until now, that apparently their negotiations are underway for a Stalker 2 Netflix show because of bleak post-apocalyptic fiction and Chernobyl are a killer TV combo. Which then kind of rounds me back to my initial talking point of, what is GSC doing with this trailer right now? Why release this 4 months after the release of the game, right? When it's just kind of another campaign trailer? Well, I think really it's because it's just the beginning for Stalker 2. But if this really is just the beginning of Stalker 2, then GSC Game World has a lot of work ahead of them when it comes to putting this game together in a state that's something more than just the industry standard, because we all see the potential of this game and how different it is compared to everything else out there on the market, that you want to jump in and play Stalker 2. You want this game to be a game where, like, if people say I've never played it, you go, oh man, you're missing out. And that comes from these patch notes gradually making the game better, taking fan feedback and making the game as good as it was, if not even better than the previous games. And when the game is in that good state, you drop these DLC packs right here to get people back in and playing. We've seen it done before, and it could definitely happen again. Oh, and just a fun side note, apparently Gabe Newell is actually playing a lot of Stalker 2 right now, saying he's working on his 4th ending when it comes to the game. What an absolute legend, am I right? If you made it this far in the video, I hope I earned your like, maybe even a subscribe. And if you missed any content from me recently, check out these videos right here. Greatly appreciate it. I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Peace out.